Today we're taking you back to 1982, where we'll share some surprising facts about these chart toppers that might change how you remember them. Some of these stories might even make you a bit uncomfortable, but that's what made the 80s so interesting, right? Let's explore these number one hits and the fascinating, sometimes controversial stories behind them. Daryl Hall and John Oates kicked off 1982 with "I Can't Go For That, No Can Do." The duo met in 1967 when gunfire broke out at a band competition in Philadelphia. Both musicians dove into the same service elevator to escape, and their musical partnership was born from this chaotic moment. What's particularly interesting is that despite their smooth sound, Hall and Oates faced constant criticism from soul music purists who accused them of appropriating black music styles, a debate that would follow them throughout their career. Here's something that might surprise you. Michael Jackson once told Daryl Hall that "I Can't Go For That" was the inspiration for Billie Jean's bass line. Jackson actually admitted to Hall that he had copied the bass line, though he changed it enough to make it his own. That's right, the king of pop himself borrowed from Hall and Oates. The Jay Giles Band stormed the charts with Centerfold, but their path to success was anything but straightforward. Originally a blues band formed in 1967, they spent over a decade playing a completely different style of music. The band's shift to pop rock caused significant internal tensions, particularly with founding member Jay Giles himself, who eventually sued the band over the use of his name, a bitter irony considering their biggest hit came after abandoning their blues roots. During the recording of Centerfold, lead singer Peter Wolf was going through a messy divorce from actress Faye Dunaway, and some band members later revealed that the song's lyrics about a corrupted, innocent image were partially inspired by this personal turmoil. Journey's Open Arms almost never made it to recording. Steve Perry and Jonathan Cain wrote the song in 1981, but guitarist Neil Schon hated it so much that he refused to play on the track, calling it a pile of softness. The internal band conflict got so heated that Perry threatened to quit if the song wasn't recorded. Some radio stations initially refused to play it, considering it too sappy for a rock band. The song went through 60 vocal takes because Perry was obsessed with getting the perfect performance. Legend had it that he actually cried in frustration during the recording sessions. Hey, speaking of frustration, if you're enjoying these behind-the-scenes stories, take a moment to hit that like button, and please subscribe to our channel. Share your own memories of these songs in the comments below. Did you know about these conflicts behind the scenes? Hey friends, if these behind-the-scenes stories are bringing back memories, now's the perfect time to hit that like button and join our community. Share your concert memories in the comments below. Did you see them perform this live? Subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about the music that shaped our lives. Joan Jett faced constant rejection before "I Love Rock and Roll" hit number one. After the Runaways disbanded, 23 record labels rejected her solo work. She ended up selling records out of her trunk and starting her own label, Blackheart Records. The music industry's male executives told her that women couldn't play rock and roll, a notion she definitively disproved. Interestingly, "I Love Rock and Roll" wasn't even her song originally. It was first recorded by a British band called the Arrows in 1975. Jett saw them perform it on TV while touring with the Runaways in England and knew instantly she could make it a hit. Vangelis created Chariots of Fire without ever having read the script or watching the film. The Greek composer was living in London, refusing to fly anywhere due to his fear of air travel. He composed the iconic theme based solely on the concept of people running in slow motion on a beach. The studio initially didn't want to use his music, considering it too modern for a period piece. The synthesizer Vangelis used for the recording was so temperamental that he had to record in an unheated room. Apparently, the heat from the radiators would cause it to go out of tune. He ended up wearing fingerless gloves while recording the Oscar-winning theme. Ebony and Ivory brought Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder together, but the collaboration wasn't as smooth as the final product suggests. The two recorded their parts separately, never actually meeting during the original recording sessions.
Ebony and Ivory.
The song was banned in South Africa by the apartheid government, ironically proving its very message about racial disharmony. The piano used in the recording had a fascinating history. It was the same one used on Hey Jude and had been in storage for years. When they pulled it out, several keys were damaged by rats that had nested inside it. The Human League's Don't You Want Me came from a band that fired all its original members except one. Phil Oakley recruited two teenage girls from a dance club to join the band, causing outrage in the Sheffield music scene. The record company hated the song and fought against its release as a single. Phil Oakley actually despised the song so much that he buried it as the last track on the album Dare. He still insisted on changing the mix right up until the pressing deadline, convinced it would ruin their career. Instead, it became their biggest hit. Survivor's Eye of the Tiger was written after Sylvester Stallone was sued for trying to use Queen's Another One Bites the Dust in Rocky III without permission. The band wrote and recorded the song in just 3 days under immense pressure from Stallone, who kept calling for updates. The iconic guitar riff came to guitarist Frankie Sullivan in a dream, and he ran downstairs in his pajamas to record it on a tape recorder at 4 a.m. The band later said they spent more time mixing the drums than writing the entire song. The Steve Miller Band's Abracadabra had an unusual inspiration. Miller wrote it after watching Diana Ross perform on television. He was mesmerized by her movement and wrote the song about her, though she never knew she was the muse. The song was actually recorded and shelved for 2 years because the record company thought it was too different from their previous hits. Remember when I mentioned surprising facts? Well, here's your chance to share your own memories of these amazing songs. Hit that subscribe button and tell us in the comments which of these tracks brings back the best memories for you. Don't forget to share this video with friends who might remember dancing to these hits. Chicago's Hard to Say I'm Sorry marked a dramatic comeback for a band that many had written off. The song represented a major departure from their horn-driven sound, causing significant tension within the group. Peter Cetera's push for a more commercial sound led to longtime producer James William Guercio being fired, nearly breaking up the band. Some original members refused to play on the track, considering it a betrayal of their jazz rock roots.
It's hard for me to say I'm sorry.
The full album version includes a horn-heavy section called Getaway that radio stations cut off. When performing live, the band often skipped the song entirely during their early tours, despite it being their biggest hit. Speaking of hard things to say, it would be hard not to ask you to take a moment right now to support our channel. If you're enjoying these deep dives into music history, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Your stories and memories make this channel what it is. So share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with other music lovers who've lived through these amazing times. John Cougar, before he reclaimed his surname Mellencamp, wrote Jack and Diane based on the 1962 film Sweet Bird of Youth. Despite its massive success, record executives wanted him to remove the song from the album, claiming it was too long and had a weird solo section. Mellencamp fought back, even threatening to quit music altogether if they didn't release it as he intended.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane.
The iconic hand claps in the song weren't planned. They were added because the drum machine kept breaking down during recording. The band had to improvise to keep time, and those impromptu claps ended up staying in the final mix. Men at Work faced serious controversy with Who Can It Be Now? When their record label initially rejected it, claiming it was too paranoid sounding for American audiences. The band, Formed by Colin Hay after immigrating to Australia from Scotland, actually wrote the song while Hay was living in a cheap apartment in St. Kilda, regularly hiding from debt collectors.
Who can it be knocking at my door?
The saxophone riff that made the song famous was almost cut from the final version. Producer Peter McClan had to fight to keep it, believing it was crucial to the song's hook. Guess it turned out he was right. Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes created magic with Up Where We Belong, though both were initially reluctant to record it. Cocker had to be convinced to do the duet, as he was struggling with alcohol addiction at the time and worried he couldn't deliver. The song's producer, Stuart Levine, was fired by the film company during recording because they hated the track. Both singers recorded their parts separately and never met until they had to perform the song at the Academy Awards, where they won the Oscar for Best Original Song. Lionel Richie's Truly was his first solo hit after leaving the Commodores, but the split wasn't amicable. The band members felt betrayed, and some didn't speak to him for years. Richie wrote the song in the bathroom of a hotel room because he said it was the only place he could find peace during that tumultuous time. Motown initially passed on the song, suggesting it was too similar to his Commodore's ballads. The demo version was recorded in one take while Richie had a severe cold, but everyone loved the raspy quality so much that he had to recreate it for the final version. Toni Basil made history with Mickey as one of the first female artists to write, sing, direct, and choreograph her own video. However, few people know she was 39 years old when she recorded her supposed teenage pop hit. She changed the original lyrics from Kitty to Mickey, transforming what was initially a song about a woman to one about a man.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
The cheerleader theme wasn't in the original British version by Racy, called Kitty. Basil, who was a professional choreographer, added it because she had been working with cheerleading squads and thought it would make a great visual hook. Hall & Oates bookended 1982 with another #1 hit, Man-Eater. The song wasn't actually about a woman, as most people assume. It was about New York City in the 1980s and its greedy, materialistic culture. The duo finished writing it in an elevator when they got stuck between floors for several hours.
Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater.
The signature saxophone riff was played by Charles DeChant, who had never played a sax solo before this recording. He learned the instrument specifically for this song. And there you have it, the #1 hits of 1982, each with its own compelling story of struggle, innovation, and sometimes pure luck. If you enjoyed these stories behind the music, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Share this video with someone who lived through these amazing times. Maybe they have their own stories to add. Leave a comment below with your favorite memory from 1982, and don't forget to join us next time when we'll dive into another year of unforgettable hits. Until then, keep the music playing.